with us, 18 minutes after 2. This is News Talk 1010 CFRB. Folks, put yourself in Ray's shoes. Oh, it couldn't happen to you. Ray thought the same thing. Accused of an atrocious crime, finally had his name exonerated. A woman who was pursuing him decided when he didn't return the gesture to go after him and accuse him of unconscionable things with her son. He's been entirely exonerated, and now he's speaking out after David Dooley took his own life. So the crux of your article today, Ray, is about how appropriate it is to have somebody tarred and feathered publicly with something that nobody, I understand you're exonerated, and I don't mean to kind of continue to perpetuate this thing for you, but I can't see you ever escaping this. This will be still a question mark in a lot of people's mind. Have you ever thought about changing your name?
I actually have thought about that, and I might maybe pursue that in the future. Unfortunately, I might have to do that.
Now, we protect young people who are victims of a crime or who are the cause of a crime, who are the criminals, but we don't, many people would think, well, you know what, these guys are the worst of the worst. Why would you want to protect them? Why are you extending them? What about the victims? Well, in this case, folks, we're talking to the victim. And there doesn't seem to be any was she charged with anything for trumping up these charges?
No. As far as I know, charges over false allegations are rarely laid against the person who starts the complaint.
So what's the answer here? I mean, we put David Dooley's name out there. Now nobody will ever know the truth or the truth behind this. We put your name out there. You're entirely exonerated, but some people, as we mentioned, will still think that you're guilty. Do we put your name and picture in the newspaper?
Well, I don't believe that, it depends on, it's a really sensitive topic, and I think the police have to be sensitive to that. And I know that, some of the examples that they were giving for why they would release someone's name is because they wanted to know if there's any other victims that might come forward.
And if the guys would be out on bail, they want people to know that this guy maybe shouldn't be around your kids.
Right. But if you're innocent of a crime, or you're supposed to be considered innocent, like, I understand that there's a time and place for everything, and to release someone's name and picture only creates, it risks your life. It humiliates you. Especially when there's no history of sexual misconduct or sexual assault, or there's only one complainant. If there was maybe many children coming forward, or there's a history there, then maybe release their picture and name, or once they're found guilty or they admit their guilt.
Nothing happened to this woman. She wasn't charged with anything, but she did have a history of perhaps being, I don't want to say unstable, but that it was easy to figure out that these were trumped up, no?
Yeah, well, I would think so, but the police didn't take that route.
Do you blame the police for erring on the side of caution?
I do. I know before they even asked me any explanations about, emails that she had sent me, and they had already arrested me. So at the time I was arrested, I was told not to talk to the police. So I didn't. So I couldn't explain what my side of the story was before I was arrested.
If I told you that, unfortunately, I don't think there's any way around this, that it's a terrible story that you had to live through, but I think the system is such as it is that I don't know that we can change it. I think, for the most part, we have a great system and it works properly.
Mm-hmm. Well, for the most part, I agree. But, when it comes to interviewing children regarding sexual crimes, the police aren't mandated to take certain courses, or the police officer that was involved in this case even said, well, sometimes I just fly by the seat of my pants.
Yeah.
he didn't know, he had no experience working with children, or interviewing anybody. You know, it wasn't mandated for him at all, and it should be.
Ray, thank you very much for coming forward and telling your story. It's pretty heart-wrenching, and we appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Ray Collingham, ladies and gentlemen, here on News Talk 1010 CFRB. So you make the call. Should we make any changes in the shadow of what you just heard and David Dooley over the weekend? Should we put the names of these people in the paper? We do need other victims to come forward. We do need to know that your kids are safe, that these people get back on the street when they're out on bail. You need to know. It's a terrible story that Ray had to live through, but I don't think we should change anything. Here are the numbers, 416-872-1010, and you can also give us a shout on text, which is 71010.
Introducing OLG Slot 7